So the neighbor almost shot me last night, okay? Like actually pulled a gun, just about. So Mama A just got married, and her and my stepdad, they just got a house, literally like at the same time. They got married and then they moved into their house a few days later. So much love, shout out to them. And so I went there to help them unpack and move furniture and that kind of stuff. So I was out there once already when my brother came back to town to visit, because my brother moved out of state. He was back to visit when they got married. We went and saw the house, but I go out there myself to help my mom and my stepdad unpack and, you know, move furniture, cabinets, dressers, you know, shit like that. So the way that the new house is, there's no driveway in the front. So when you go down the street and you see their house, you can't see the driveway. You have to go around the corner to the other street, and then there's an alley that goes behind the house. And then that's where the driveway is. It's in the alley. So whenever I go over there with my brother, Keegan, right, we see that the person that lives in the house behind my mom's new house. So the alley's in the middle, here's my mom's house, and then literally there's their house on the other side of the alley, okay? So that person in that house has a bunch of dogs, okay? Huskies. They have 3 or 4. Basically, the way that it's set up is that they have these cages that they're in, and they're like topless cages, okay? And they are not big. Like, my bed is bigger than those cages. No cap. Now, I do have a king-size bed, but my bed is bigger than the cage that the dog is in, okay? They have 2 cages. The cages are set up, if this is the alleyway right here, like in a straight line, first cage, and then the second cage is behind it. So if you're in the alley looking, they're not side by side. They're like front and back, okay? Closest to the alley, there's 1 husky in that cage. And then in the one behind it, there are either 2 huskies in there or 3. I don't even know. I don't know how many there are. But one is in a cage all by itself, and then the other ones are all together in a cage. So when I go over there with my brother Keegan, dogs look sad as hell. Okay, and they look all mangled and shit. Their furs, like, it don't look good, man. Like, it's sad. It's really sad. And I love dogs. I love animals. So I like walk over to look at the dogs, because keep in mind, these are huskies. These are sled dogs, okay? They belong in the fucking Arctic. It was 80 degrees outside, and these dogs are just outside sitting there in a cage, locked up. So I was only up by the cage that had 1, right? And he looked super happy to see me, to have some attention. He was trying to smell me like through the cage. This is a good dog. Night was done. So now fast forward another day or 2, and I go by myself. I pull into the alley, and then I pull into my mom's driveway, and I get out. So the back of my car literally is this close to the alleyway. So the people that have the dogs, they have a huge yard, and then literally like 10 feet into their yard is where the cage is. Okay, so I just parked, and the dog sees me, so he's like up against the cage. Again, happy to see me. He probably remembered me, honestly. So I walk into the alleyway, and I take 3 steps into the yard, because I'm walking up to the cage, and I'm doing shit that you do to dogs, right? Like, hey buddy, like that kind of stuff. And this red truck swerves, almost hits me. The truck is literally, yeah, just out of arm's reach from me. And this dude leans out the window. He's an older guy, short guy. He's like, what the fuck are you doing? So I read the room very quickly, okay? He pulls up, he says this to me, and I instantly identify the fact that, 1, this is his house and these are his dogs. And 2, this is my mom's new neighbor, so I don't want to fuck it up for my mom. And I don't want to kill the whole vibe because I was being in their yard, okay? Like, what the fuck? So he's like, what the fuck are you doing? And then I just say, hi, my name's Kyle. My family just moved in right here. That's what I say with a smile on my face. And he goes, well, that's where the fuck you need to be at. You stay away from my yard. You are trespassing. You stay away from my dogs. And I don't ever want to see you again. I just said, I was just looking at your dogs. You have pretty dogs. Like, I don't see huskies very often, is what I said to him. And then he gets out of his truck. And then I just like looked at him, and I'm just like, okay. It's just a short old man, okay? I'm still kind of just like, what? Trying to like understand the situation. And that's whenever he tells me, I mean it. If I ever see you back here again, I'm gonna beat your fucking ass. This little old man says this to me, and I laugh. So I start laughing. I would have beat the shit out this old man. Like, actually, like literally. Not that I would want to, but it would have happened. In no world do I lose a fight to this guy. Like, it just doesn't happen. So when he says that to me, I laugh. I'm just like, all right, man. You have a good day. So then I'm walking back and I'm already back in the alley. Like I said, I was only 3 steps in the yard. I wasn't even to the cage yet. And then he starts walking up to me. He's like, you got something to say, tough guy? And then he shows me that he has the gun on his hip. He's literally just carrying that shit. Even then, like in the moment, I was still smiling because I was just laughing. You know what I mean? I didn't say this, but in my head, I'm like, what, are you gonna shoot me? Like, what? You're gonna fucking shoot me? What did I do? And I'm just like, yeah, whatever. So then I just turned around and then I'm already in my driveway. He's still fucking running his mouth saying something. Yo, I just want to give a huge shout out to all of the community members. Thank you for helping support the channel. If you would like your name featured in the videos, please click the second link in the description or click the join button. So I go inside my mom's house and I tell my mom and my dad, hey, I just pissed your neighbor off bad. I explain the situation, like I'm just like, I was looking at the dogs, I was looking at the husky, and he pulled up and said he was gonna beat my ass, and then I laughed because no chance. And also, he went out of his way to show me he had a gun. I can't even finish saying this, and my dad's already out the door, going over there. I thought he was about to beat the shit out this dude. So my stepdad was a boxer, okay? I would have already whooped this old man. If my stepdad got the hands on him, it would be bad. But I was just telling my family, I don't understand like why he's coming at me with this aggression when I literally started my conversation with, hi, my name's Kyle. My family just moved in here. I don't understand why he wasn't just like, hey man, you know, nice to meet you. Or even if he was gonna still be a dick, he could have been like, hey, you know, can you just like not be in my yard, man? No, he was just like, said he was gonna fight me and then show me that he had the blicky. And I'm just like, what the fuck? So my dad goes over there. I follow him. This guy already got back in his truck and he pulled it back into his driveway, which is also in the alley. So he was like probably 50 feet away at this point. So we're walking like down the alley to go over to him directly. I'm telling my stepdad, I'm like, hey man, I didn't go in there to fucking narc. I didn't need backup or anything. Like I was just letting you know like, hey, I didn't try to fuck up your neighborhood relationships or whatever. I was just trying to look at the dogs. He's like, no, you're good, man. Don't even worry about it. So my stepdad walks up and instantly talking loud and direct like, hey man, what the fuck? We just moved in right here. My son was looking at the dogs. He said he was out here saying he was gonna beat his ass and, you know, showing him that you're packing heat. Like, why? What the fuck? The guy's like, how do I know he's not gonna come over here and hurt my dogs? And my stepdad's like, he's not like that, dude. You would have known that if you would have talked to him for 2 seconds before you tried to pull a gun on him or said you were gonna fight him. You know, you didn't have to be a dick. Like, you could have, if you didn't want him in your yard, you could have just said, hey, man, like, you know, can you get out the yard? There were 50 ways you could have handled that besides the way that you handled it. My stepdad says to this guy, hey, you're lucky he didn't beat your ass right here. You already know. Like, don't let the fucking glasses fool you, bro. So basically, they're kind of going back and forth and just like talking, and that guy's like, oh, well, I've been here for 22 years and people are always looking at my dogs. And my stepdad's like, well, maybe you should take care of them dogs. And he's like, I do take care of my dogs. And my stepdad's like, oh yeah, right. He's like, I saw him out here the other day, couldn't hardly shit. You know, they walk around, they look all mangled, look at them. I forgot how he worded it, but basically he was like, you know, you should be lucky that people do want to check on your animals, man. Like, you know, my son, he likes dogs. He was just checking on, he was just looking at your dogs, man. He literally told you in his opening sentence, his name, that his family lives here, and that you have pretty dogs. It should have took you 2 seconds to identify that he's not here to be a threat to anybody. Like, he's just looking at the fucking dogs. My stepdad, he's the realest. Like, I'm actually so fucking happy that he's with my mom. He's actually so cool. And he fucking loves me and Keegan. So my stepdad's, you know, letting him have it, basically, right? Like, they're talking, and then the dude's like, goodbye. And my stepdad, he's like, I ain't going nowhere. And he would have beat the shit out of this dude. Like, I'm telling you, like, it would have been game over. No extra life, no reset. Like, you're done. You got to get a new save file after that. Like, it's done. You're done. So the neighbor ends up saying that he had people before trying to poison his dogs. He's like, you know, there are people back here trying to poison my dogs, hurt my dogs. You can verify it with the police. You can call the police and check. I'm not gonna call the fucking police, man. Like, and then he's like, yeah, man, like, I didn't know you didn't mean any harm or anything. And I'm just like, I'm just smiling, but in my head, I'm just laughing because he actually just got bitched. Like, this guy got bitched so hard. And then my stepdad hits him with an assertion of dominance, basically. So like when you're talking to somebody and you're real close to them and you give them just a pat on the shoulder, close hand to close shoulder, right? So like if you were standing side by side with me, I would use my left hand and your right shoulder. Hey man, it's all good. It's like that. He hits him with one of those. Hey man, just don't let it happen again. And that guy just put his head down and he's like, all right, yeah, no, I'm sorry. So we leave, right? We're walking back to the house, and then we keep talking about it for like most of the evening, right? Because I just kept saying, it's just so fucking weird to me. I started the conversation with my name, showing you where my family lives, and that he has pretty dogs. And he saw me saying like, hey buddy, literally the least intimidating that a human could be. Literally no idea why he, A, nearly ran me over. B, felt the need to curse at me nonstop. C, felt the need to get out of his truck. D, threatened to beat my ass. And E, flashed the gun. He's lucky he didn't get F's in chat. I'd have got his ass. You know why? Because I'm a G. That was my story. Also, likes help me out with the algorithm, but, you know, only the real ones like. So only like it if you actually a real one, you know what I mean? Like if you're a real one.